Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Complete Sports Media Podcast. I'm your host, Darren Campbell, and you've reached us on a Sunday here where we are going to break down the UFC, and then we're going to talk about some basketball as the playoffs are about to begin tomorrow. So, as usual, we've got our resident analyst, Jason Cameron. He's going to come and break it down for us. Let's talk UFC, Jason.
All
Thanks for
right.
joining us today.
Oh yeah, man. Happy to be here. All right.
Nice. Well, we finally got to have the trilogy fight shown to us, and yeah, very anticipated. Probably the biggest heavyweight fight of all time, and yeah, it didn't disappoint. Really amazing battle between Daniel Cormier and Stipe Miocic. I guess the only thing that disappoints a lot of people is that Daniel Cormier doesn't get to have his fairy tale ending and retire with a belt around his waist again. But man, you know, these two guys couldn't have put on a better show. A really amazing 5-round battle.
Yeah, man. Like these guys put on a show. Super close fight, as I knew it would be going into the fifth round. But the thing that I was shocked at the most was the fact that Stipe became skinny Stipe. Like he came in lean, in shape. You could tell that that was obviously one of the things that he needed to address from his past battles with Daniel Cormier. He clearly felt his tank wasn't where it needed to be. And so now he comes in that kind of shape, and he was able to actually push the pace at times against Daniel Cormier. And I strongly believe that's what gave him the edge in this fight at the end. It really did give him the edge because, you know, I had Cormier winning the first and then Stipe coming back and almost finishing Cormier in the second. I swear if Stipe had 10 to 15 more seconds, that fight's over. That fight is really over. And then the third round was the unfortunate eye poke that Cormier took from Stipe. And that's the other thing that I'll also point to, which led to Daniel Cormier's unfortunate downfall, was that eye poke, I believe, was really beginning to affect him in the later rounds.
Yeah, and definitely it was unfortunate. Uh, in all three battles that they've had, there has been eye pokes. Stipe actually had to have retina surgery to get his retina reattached. After the second one, that's what delayed this third fight. He actually talked to the referee before the match and said, you know, watch these eye pokes. It happened in the first fight, happened in the second fight. And then this time, Daniel Cormier suffered that. Daniel actually said he couldn't see anything out of his eye, and he supposedly has a detached cornea, so a torn cornea. Yeah, and it's yeah, not. They say they're not sure about surgery. They're going to wait till the swelling goes down and test it out in a few days. He was released from the hospital, luckily, last night, but. Man, was that ever a terrible eye poke? Unfortunately, referee Mark Goddard didn't see it that way. He thought it was from a punch and let the fight continue on without giving any you know, time to recover from it. But yeah, that compromised him a lot. You know, throughout the entire fight, it was really too bad, and it's been too bad that all three fights have been marred by that.
Yeah, it has. And unfortunately, it's an ongoing issue with those gloves, with the way that they're made and they're built. I don't know what the solution is, but I'm sure that the UFC is looking into that, into trying to figure something out, because it's kind of tragic when a fight of that magnitude is influenced by something that it shouldn't be, which is by eye pokes, you know. But regardless of that, Cormier did put on a valiant effort. And like I said, it was a super close fight going into the last round. But Miocic managed to, you know, eke that win out. And I think from his superior fitness this time, as opposed to his last two fights, really helped him lead the way to this victory.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You know, he did look lean and mean. I think he realized that he needed to get in a little bit of shape, not only just for the cardio wise, but also the speed. Daniel Cormier seemed to always be beating him to the punch in the first two fights. Outside of that fourth round, when Stipe in the second fight started hitting him body shots and finally landed a good shot and took him out, Daniel was winning that fight. He was beating him into the punch. And I think Stipe realized, hey, I got to get a little bit leaner. I got to get a little faster. And then his game plan was really smart. He put him up against the cage constantly, kept him there, wore him down. Daniel Cormier said, bring your wrestling shoes. And he did, a takedown in the first round. But after that, didn't make any more attempts at it. It really shocked me. I don't understand. His corner was imploring him to take Stipe down, but he never did. He said that he never gave him an opportunity, but he didn't even try. I was shocked by that.
Yeah, because he's taken away one of his very essential weapons that makes Daniel Cormier. And I wonder if it's something that he saw in the fight that maybe made him hesitant to do the takedowns. I'm not sure about that because, literally because of the cut that Stipe did and the way that he refashioned his body, they're the same weight. They're literally the same weight. So it's not like he has to really put in maximum effort to take down a bigger guy, which he can do anyways. I don't know. I think he must have stepped away from the game plan clearly, but I don't know why he would diverge from that because that's usually not what Daniel Cormier does.
No. Well, that definitely seems to put Stipe in the greatest of all time heavyweight conversation. Do you think there's any doubt now that he will be considered the greatest of all time?
No doubt for me anyways. Like he has earned those stripes, and he's got a murderer's row of people waiting for him right now. But for what he's accomplished and what he's done for right now as it stands, yeah, he's the greatest of all time. So congratulations to Stipe, man. He's exemplary job.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing that a guy that is a firefighter, puts so much time into his community, can become the greatest of all time. Before Daniel Cormier came around a couple of years ago, everybody was, hey, he is the greatest. He had defended his belt numerous times, had really shown, just a superior ability to beat guys at their game, and wherever the fight went. This has been crazy. Imagine him though. He's the champion. Suddenly Daniel Cormier decides, I'm gonna go up to heavyweight. And for the last 2.5 years, he's been training for one guy only, and had to have 3 ultimate matches to prove that he's the greatest of all time. It's pretty incredible, this trilogy, and good on him. Cemented his legacy, and for all the Stipe Miocic fans, they must have just rejoiced in this huge win.
Oh, of course they would have, man, because this was the fight to make him go into the upper echelon of like legendary status, and he got the fight, like he got the win that he needed to get that kind of status, to get that from his peers and from all the people that watch his fights, man. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, it was definitely, you're right. In that second round, he had Daniel Cormier in all sorts of trouble. Unfortunately, the view that we got was from the opposite side of the cage. And you saw, you could only see Stipe's back and Daniel down on the ground. It was really hard. They didn't have any shots from the side, from really in close. So you couldn't tell how much trouble Cormier was in. Obviously Goddard got in there pretty tight, but holy, I was on my feet thinking, oh my God, is it over already? And luckily for Cormier, that bell rang, and he had an opportunity to go out for the third round. It was close.
Yeah, it was super close, man. Super close. Like I said, 10 to 15 more seconds, that fight's over, man. That fight ends right then and there. So
Daniel Cormier said that he didn't employ the same clinch style that he had employed in the first 2 fights. He had double underhooks the whole time, and Cormier found it really hard to reverse it, really hard to get out of it. that's probably a really, really great game plan on Stipe's team. They seem to be able to, grind it out, wear Cormier down. Cormier, he kind of never looks like he's in fantastic shape. I thought he actually looked, a little bit worse than he normally does shape wise, which really surprised me because, I thought he would be a little more lean and mean and yeah, he's still just, his body just doesn't really look like it's in fantastic shape.
No, it never actually does, like at all, like period. Like you wonder, are you a professional athlete? Like, are you serious about that? But it's just his body type. It's just the way that he goes about it. Like it's just what he has to work with. But hey, he said through like the whole pre-fight and stuff, like this was the hardest training camp he's ever had, and this is the best shape he's ever been in. Like a lot of the platitudes that a lot of the fighters say all the time, but usually once you step in the ring, then we'll see it for sure. Now, I'll tell you this, Stipe definitely did that because I saw that in the ring. That man was ready to go. So
Yeah.
I have to imagine that obviously Cormier did everything in his power to prepare for this fight. It just so happened it just didn't go his way this time around.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of people that put their hand up, said I'm next. The biggest one was Jon Jones asking for a fight with Stipe. That makes sense for the UFC, in my opinion. Probably will garner the most pay-per-view buys ever if they can put this fight together. Do you think that's what should happen, or is he going to fight Francis Ngannou again?
Okay, so we've seen the Francis Ngannou fight, right? I think honestly, Dana White loves money, loves it, loves it to death. So if me knowing Dana the way that I do, I think he makes this fight. I think it's just a no-brainer. Like the guys don't really have much more to prove in their own division. Yes, there's obviously other opponents that they can fight and they can face, but I think this is a good opportunity for the UFC to make this fight happen. And at the end of the year, I think it's a perfect opportunity for it, especially at the point in time that the whole globe is in with this pandemic still very much in our face. So I think this would be great for the fans to make a fight of this magnitude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I really hope it can be made. I think it would just be, something that would excite the fans beyond belief. A rematch with Ngannou, who are, Stipe seemed to be able to handle quite easily, handily. I feel like, it won't garner the same type of interest. Jon Jones is, he's been, incredible light heavyweight champion. If he didn't get into so much trouble outside of the cage, he would, probably have held the belt for the past 10 years or whatever it's been. If he can keep his problems, away and he can, train for this, I think he gives Stipe a ton of trouble. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously we saw Gustafsson go up in weight and didn't fare too well. So, I think a lot of people were talking that he was going to watch that and see, how it went. It didn't go well for him, but yeah, it looked like, immediately he wanted the shot. And yeah, if the UFC makes it happen, I think there's big paydays for both of them.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely big paydays for both of them. Big paydays for everybody all around if they do decide to make that fight. Now, I guess the only question is if they do decide to make that fight, do they make it into a super card, which I think they should do as well. If you're going to make a fight like that, you might as well make the card. You might as well stack the card as best you can. And I hope if they do go that route, that's what they do.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I'm sure John's going to ask for a lot of money. I'm sure Stipe and his camp will ask for a lot of money. That's, where the negotiations could break down. We'll see how that pans out. But let's talk about the heavyweight division a little bit more. Obviously, on the same card, we had Junior Santos against Jorinzo Rosenstrike. And wow, that was a really good measured battle. They were both, feeling each other out, keeping each other at distance, landing a lot of really heavy strikes. But finally, Rosenstrike was able to knock JDS down and got the fight stopped. Man, he's powerful. I think he's still a little bit still too raw in the MMA game, but man, he's got so much power in those hands.
Yeah, man. The man is a striker. Now, we didn't get to see that too much from his last fight, unfortunately, because kind of ended pretty quick. But, you know, from his kickboxing record, 76-9. This dude can, you know, he can put people to sleep. He is a very skilled stand-up fighter, kickboxer, man. And so you could tell within the scope of the fight that they were both like, okay, I can't make a mistake, because if I do, that guy knocks me out. And it goes the same way with the other guy. That's how these heavyweights are. One minor little mistake, and then boom, lights out. It's all said and done. And then JDS, he actually got caught while he was throwing as well. He got caught in the midst of like an exchange. And then that's all it took. Rosenstrike hit him once and then hit him twice. And then that's all she wrote, man. And that's all it takes for these heavyweights, because of that much power and speed that's coming at you like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I think it was all the more remarkable that Stipe had such a great career, because he was able to defend his belt so many times and be able to, you know, take on all comers and not, you know, get hit by that one shot that takes you out. You know, heavyweight division, yeah, it takes just one clean shot, and you know, you're usually going down, and you know, sometimes they scramble up like Junior Dos Santos did, but then he just got put right back down, put right back down with another shot, and yeah, the referee had to mercilessly stop it. I feel bad for Junior Dos Santos. Fantastic career, former heavyweight champion, but 3 losses in a row. That might tumble him down the rankings. He was number 5 going in. Rosenstrike was ranked number 6. So Daniel's gone, I guess, out of the picture. So I guess Ngannou goes up to number 1. Blades will be number 2, and Derek Lewis 3, and then I guess Rosenstrike 4. Yeah, it's you know, a lot of really great, fantastic fighters competing at the top there. I'm not sure if you know, UFC will be able to bring Jones in, but all these guys I think have a legitimate shot at giving Stipe a run for his money.
Oh yeah, man. Like, and especially like, you know, if you got guys that are lurking in the back, like Derek Lewis, the Black Beast, who's actually still trying to slim himself down, and he's that fast and that powerful already, that will be a problem for Stipe. I think Stipe, you know, obviously you have a game plan for all of these guys, right? But for that guy, you don't want to stand with him. You just don't want to take the risk. You just take him down.
Yeah.
Take him down all the time, man.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that happen in that Volkov fight, where I think he had 20 seconds left. I think he had just one more good punch left in him, and that's all she wrote. That was it.
Yeah.
And that's who that guy is. So, and yes, kudos to Stipe for always facing men of that magnitude all the time and coming out on top. So that's why he's the baddest man on the planet, and that's why he's our champion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, even, you know, Daniel Cormier said, you know, he had 10 title fights in a row, and you know, I guess Stipe's got somewhere close to that too. You know, impressive, you know, display on both guys' sides. You know, I really wish that eye poke didn't happen, but you know, Stipe, you know, did it. He's the champion, and will go down in history as the greatest ever. It'll take a while for somebody to, you know, take over that position from him. Co-main event. Obviously, Sean O'Malley came in as a, you know, very hyped guy. He said, "Welcome to the Sugar Show," and I'm going to, you know, go right up the ranks and take this belt. But Marlon Vera said, "No, you're not quite ready, kid," and proved that he's got a lot of dog in him. And yeah, he brought the fight to Sean O'Malley, and yeah, unfortunately, Sean had a little injury. You know, that might have compromised the whole thing, but yeah, I mean, Marlon Vera looked strong.
Yeah, Marlon Vera looked fantastic, but unfortunately, again, I think that was a fight that could have been epic in scope if that injury hadn't happened to O'Malley the way it did. And it was super weird. I have a theory of what it could possibly be, and I really hope I'm wrong, but it seemed to me that that could have been an Achilles tear, just with the way that he grabbed it, the way that it gave out in that weird sort of awkward way. Since I've had an Achilles tear, I know the way that I grabbed for my foot when I did it was the same way that O'Malley grabbed for his. Now, it could have been something very different, broken bone in the ankle or something else, but that's what it seemed to me. And unfortunately, that significant injury definitely cost him the fight. That's it. Like that thing really compromised him, because once the fight was over, he was screaming in pain. So you know that that was whatever injury that he suffered was very, very, very significant.
Yeah, no, yeah, he looked like he was in massive pain. Definitely, he, right away you could tell something was wrong when his foot just turned over, and then he looked compromised. He just wasn't moving very well, not the same that we've seen him. And yeah, Vera took advantage once he fell down. He came in. Wow, he just landed some severe elbows and really, took a compromised guy that was down and made sure that the referee was going to have to step in. I really loved his post-fight interview. Great personality. Loves Joe Rogan, and really just great young guy that I think is going to be a lot of fun to watch as he moves up the ranks.
As he said in his own words, he's got a lot of dog in him. He's got a lot of dog in him. So it's I really liked his demeanor, his attitude in the post fight, and then I look forward to seeing more of that young man in the ring as we go forward. He's definitely going to be a problem in that division going forward for sure. Yeah. And I hope that O'Malley is able to recover quickly from his injury, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Yeah, well, a lot of fighters are calling out O'Malley. They think they can beat him. We've heard from a ton of guys. So yeah, let's hope he can recover really soon from whatever it is. I haven't heard the details yet, but we'll bring it to the viewers and listeners and let them know, and give you an update on him as soon as we can. Let's go into the featherweight fight between Herbert Burns and Daniel Pineda. Herbert Burns came in really highly touted. Him and his brother Gilbert are we're on a meteoric rise going up the ranks. There was people that said Herbert's even actually better than Gilbert. And he came in, faced a veteran in Pineda, and Pineda just really dominated that fight.
Oh, yeah, man. Pineda, you could tell, was hungry. He's been out of the UFC for 6 years. And that hunger really showed itself in that fight. Didn't even have a lot of time to, prepare himself for that fight, because I think he got it off short notice. And what you just said right there, that Herbert might be the better brother, nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Not from this, from what I saw, anyways. Pineda, excellent ground and pound, excellent top control, and that's really what won him the fight in this. His top control against a guy that is that highly touted with his jiu-jitsu skills. That's what really impressed me. That's what super impressed me, especially when he got him in the crucifix position to end the fight. You're not supposed to be able to do that to a guy of that caliber. You're not actually supposed to be able to do that. So that was an excellent, dominant win by Pineda.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, to be able to get that crucifix, it's very, very, very challenging, very tough, very hard to get skilled guy like Burns into that position. But he secured it, and there was nothing that the referee could do but stop it, because he was just taking blows to the face, and he couldn't defend himself anymore. Burns came in overweight. That really made Pineda mad. He said he lost 27 pounds in 2 weeks to make sure he was on weight for this fight. Burns didn't drop that 3.5 pounds. He was 3.5 pounds overweight. You and I've talked about this week after week, and a lot of guys are coming in overweight. You got to be really, really upset when you're dropping 27 pounds in 2 weeks and the other guy doesn't even get there. That's got to be very annoying.
Now, and also too, that's just more emphasis to you to put a beating on your opponent, because it's like, I have utterly killed myself to try to get to this weight. All right, that's what I did, and you didn't do it. So I'm gonna put all my frustration and anger on you in this fight coming up. So you're going to get it even worse. I was already going to put a whooping on you, but now I'm angry. Now I'm pissed. And so, you know, I don't know. Again, we talked about this with what the UFC should or should not do. I guess, you know what, if they're going to keep with this, the penalties the way that they are, they should actually look at maybe increasing the penalties so that it's not an advantage if they get the fight of the night and everything else, and then it just kind of all equals out, or they get even more money, so they don't really care. You know what I mean? So that's something that should be addressed, because you're professional fighters. You got to make weight. It's just, that's part of your job. You got to make weight. And hopefully maybe next card we don't see this, but I think this is going to be an ongoing issue going forward.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, it's something that we have to face week after week. You and I have to talk about it. Yeah, I'm amazed at how often it's happening right now. And yeah, they're talking about 20%. He said only 20% of the guy's purse came to me. I thought when you were 3.5 pounds, it was like a 30% automatic. Yeah, I don't know if this is a negotiated type of deal, but yeah, they got to make it way more punitive. Just guys just can't continue to do this. It looks bad on the sport. It looks bad on the guy, and yeah, it's just an unfair advantage in my opinion. You're not depleted like the other guy is, and especially these late notice fights. Guys are getting only a couple weeks, maybe even less than that, a week notice, and yeah, it's completely unfair, and it's something that we got to figure out, because that weight cut is tough on you. It's going to sap your strength. You're going to do it because you're going to be able to put that weight back on and have that maybe a little bit weight advantage. But man, to fight the scale and fight that hard, 27 pounds in 2 weeks, and the other guy doesn't even do it. Wow. Yeah, good for him that he beat him. I'm really impressed. Herbert better go back to the drawing board and figure out if this is the weight division for him. If he can't if he can't make this weight, he should just go up and fight, men that are a little more his size, and not get this unfair advantage, because it is an unfair advantage, and it's not cool. I'm really getting angry at these guys that are coming in, especially 3.5 pounds. That's not really a try, in my opinion.
No, it's not. No, it's not, man. And if I'm definitely sure if it happens again, Dana he'll make the decision for him and say, you're going up a division. There you go. Problem solved, right? Because that's what he'll do too as well. But I give Pineda all the credit in the world. 27 pounds in 2 weeks? Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. I don't know how you did that, man. I don't know how you did that. But yeah, great dominant win by Pineda, and I look forward to seeing some great stuff from him in the future.
Yeah. Okay, let's turn to this bantamweight fight between Jon Dodson and Marab Davashvili. Marab has a record for taking down 3 separate opponents more than 10 times. That is his game plan. He wants to just immediately try to take you down and grind up. He had 20 takedown attempts in this fight, and he was only successful on 2. Dodson is one of the fastest guys, but he is obviously one of the most elusive guys we've ever seen. Crazy fight, in my opinion. It was amazing.
Yeah, man. Like Dodson's like a slippery muskrat. You can't keep him down on the ground, like, at all. Like, it's just you put him down and he pops right back up immediately. But the thing with okay, I'm gonna try his name now. Davashvili. Did I get it? I kind of got it. Okay, so with Davashvili, he's got a motor like no other. He does not tire out. I think that's utterly ridiculous. I have never seen anything like that in my life. That he actually has a motor that just doesn't tire out. Doesn't tire out, which is amazing. The other thing, though, unfortunately about this fight, is Dodson. He just didn't pull the trigger. He did not initiate his offense, and that's what lost him the fight. I've seen him do this before. He'll wait for that perfect counter, but if that perfect counter doesn't happen, then he just waits. And sometimes you just can't do that. You're just gonna have to initiate. you got to start something to get something back. You know what I mean? So that's something that's part of his mental mind state that he might need to fix going forward in his fights. Sometimes he's just going to have to initiate and not always wait on the other guy to do something.
Yeah, it's got to drive his corner crazy when they know he's a counter fighter, but if a guy's not willing to come in and throw those strikes, you can't just wait. He waited 15 minutes. He tried to throw his shots a couple of times, but oh man, it just wasn't coming. And he had to have known that he was losing that fight, but he just waited and waited and waited and waited until the bell was over. It was really disappointing because he is an incredibly slick and fast fighter. He throws his hands so quick. He's really fun to watch, but yeah, he just couldn't pull that trigger ever, like you say. The camp from Marab blows me away. He gets to train with Aljamain Sterling every day, and he was very complimentary with Matt Serra, Ray Longo, Aljamain, that whole camp there in New York, Long Island. Really, really great to hear him, compliment Aljamain so much and say, hey, I train with this guy every day. Of course, I'm going to become, better and better and, become one of the best eventually. Pretty cool, to hear all the stuff coming out of his camp.
Oh yeah, man. Very cool. It was just nice to hear him just say all those nice things about his camp. It's like basically telling them that they made him who he is today. And that's the height of appreciation for everybody that's gotten you to the point that you're at in your career. So, yeah, congrats to Davashvili. Oh man, I'm gonna always mess that up. Davashvili, great win on his part, and again with Dodson, you got to start initiating your offense, man, or else you're just not gonna win at this level.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. And wasn't it him that said he was a full-time construction guy, and now he can finally put the tools away and make this full-time, and he can buy a house now? Wasn't it him?
Yes, it was. It was awesome to see, right? Like, because we actually have a couple guys like that on this card. Like, obviously, you had Stipe, who's still a firefighter, by the way, I just find that really funny, actually. It's like, I don't know why, but hey, if it's a job you love, it's a job you love. And so he's not only a hero in the ring, he's a hero in the community as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's great. It's unbelievable that some of these guys have full-time jobs as well as fighting. It's incredible and it's crazy. It's yeah, a lot of it becomes great though because they are humble and they do good things for their communities and stuff. They're not just prima donnas making millions and millions of dollars like some of the other sports athletes are. These guys are entrenched in their community, doing really good things, and yeah, it's amazing. So it's incredible that the heavyweight champion of the world is still a firefighter.
Yeah, man. I think that's just awesome. Like that blue collar work ethic that you have to know it's like, well, you know what? This could go away at any point in time, so I better have a real job.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's just awesome to see. It's awesome to see.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we turn to the Felice Herrig Verna Jandiroba fight? Jandiroba looked just unbelievable. Felice Herrig is no slouch on the ground, but yeah, Jandiroba just seemed like at another level. Just working for that armbar and securing it. And very, very impressive quick win on her part.
I wouldn't say level. I'd say levels above, like levels. Like that was like the transition to the armbar it happened in the blink of an eye. She caught the arm and she goes, "Great, I have your arm now." And it was over. Like I was super impressed with that. I was like, "Oh my god, what was that? Like half a second to get her into armbar?" Oh, sorry, a minor adjustment. Okay, now I'm gonna break your arm. It was quick, man. I was super impressed by that. Super impressive win by Jandiroba.
Yeah, wow, she was amazing. Yeah, she's definitely gonna step up in competition coming up, and yeah, super quick, impressive win. Let's talk about the Danny Chavez TJ Brown fight. Chavez came out, had an amazing game plan with those calf kicks. Really, really strong. Punches. Just really looked super dominant. Ended up winning a unanimous decision over TJ. Yeah, the calf kicks to me just stood out so much.
Oh yeah, man. Well, he took him down. He dropped him with a calf kick, and just not just the calf kicks, but his punches, so crisp, efficient, smooth, but more importantly, fast. Everything that came off that man was came off at speed. He was incredibly quick, and I was just super impressed. Super impressed with everything that I saw from Chavez. Great win on his part, because TJ Brown, no slouch. That guy he was game. He was a very, very game opponent. But obviously, from taking that many calf kicks, his mobility was very much compromised in that fight.
Yeah, definitely. Let's turn to another heavyweight fight. Chris Daukaus fought Parker Porter. Daukaus looked super impressive. Him and his brother are, really have come into their own after the pandemic hit, and we had the restart of the UFC. Both of them have looked super impressive, and another great win for him. He talked about his family and his brother and a lot of things. It was great. Really, really impressive performance.
Yeah, great combinations thrown by Caucus for sure. Great combinations, and then the need to put him down finally to end the fight. Like, the man just flowed very well on his feet. He looked great. He looked fantastic. Excellent win by Daukaus.
Yeah, very excellent, amazing. I was really impressed. And then the fight of the night was actually the very first fight out of the gate. You never think that's going to happen. I was blown away by how impressive these two were, but there was another 10, 11, 12 fights coming, and they ended up getting the 50K each. Tony Kelly against Kai Kamaka. Kamaka, that Hawaiian, is a tough guy, but Tony Kelly was just game, and they put on a really amazing 15-minute performance.
That was one heck of a way to start off the whole UFC event. Like, that was high level stuff. Those guys don't look like they just started in the UFC. They look like veterans, my friend. Jesus, I was blown away. I was flabbergasted by what I saw. The level of the caliber that these two showed was just amazing, man. Kelly, obviously more of the kickboxer, Kamaka, the more the purest boxer. But these guys, oh, dude, it was just such an excellent fight. And then Kelly having the reserves to try to come on late to try to steal the fight with those close-in elbows and such. I was beside myself. This was an excellent fight. It was a great fight, man. And it was a great win by Kamaka, because that was no gimme. He really earned that win, for sure.
Yeah, no, kudos to the matchmakers, both making their USA debuts. They couldn't have picked two guys that were better suited for each other. Really, really fantastic way to start the card. Just both of them were, very, very, very impressive. Kamaka just, a slight advantage in the end, but man, I'm looking forward to seeing both of them again. Great debuts by both.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing both of them. Both of them super tough. They have the will to win, and I can't wait to see these guys come back into the ring. Or sorry, the octagon. I can't wait to see that.
Me either. Yeah. So I said they got both 50K. The other 50,000 was handed out to Daniel Pineda and Verena Jandaroba. As we said, both incredible performances. So that puts a wrap on UFC 252. Really fun card. A lot of great fights, and we finally get to say that Stipe Miocic is the baddest man on the planet again, and he'll go down as the greatest of all time. Cool that it finally happened. Anticipating that for probably a year or more, and finally we got to see it. And good on Stipe. Gets to go back to Cleveland and celebrate and go back to helping his community as a firefighter.
Yes, he does. He gets to go back as a champion once again, and he's as humble a champion as you'll ever meet. And so he deserves everything that he's worked for. So congratulations to him, man. He really is an exemplary champion.
Yeah. No, well said. Definitely amazing.